All right, let's talk about one of those big what ifs in financial planning: long term care insurance. You know that little voice in the back of your head that asks, what if I pay all this money for years and then I never even need it? Well, today we're going to tackle that question head on. Let's dive in. This is the big one, isn't it? It's the question that can make people hesitate, that can stop a solid retirement plan right in its tracks. You faithfully pay thousands and thousands in premiums over the years. But if you happen to pass away peacefully in your sleep without ever needing that specialized care, does all that money just poof, vanish? And there you have it. For a lot of the old school traditional policies, the reality is exactly what people are afraid of. It's a use it or lose it situation. You're basically making a huge bet with your own hard-earned money. So what does that actually look like in the real world? So, with a traditional policy, your money really only has two possible destinations. Understanding these two outcomes is totally key to seeing why the insurance industry had to come up with something better. This slide really lays it out in black and white, doesn't it? On the one hand, let's say you do need care. Great, the policy does its job. But the moment you pass away, any benefits left in the pool? Gone. On the other hand, if you live a long, healthy life and never need care, all those premiums you paid are just forfeited. Either way, no money ever makes it back to your family or your estate. Now, to put all this into perspective, take a look at this number: $70,251. That's the average annual cost of long-term care just in the state of Georgia. Wow. Seeing a number like that, you totally get why planning is so critical. But it also makes the idea of losing all your premiums feel that much more painful. Okay, so that's the fundamental problem with traditional plans. But thankfully, the industry didn't just stop there. They evolved. Let's look at a much more modern solution that was specifically designed to get rid of that awful use it or lose it dilemma for good. And this is the game changer, right here, the hybrid LTC policy. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. It basically merges your long-term care coverage with another financial product, usually a life insurance policy or an annuity. And it's that combination that creates a real financial safety net. And this shows you exactly how that safety net works. It's kind of brilliant. If you do end up needing long-term care, no problem. You access the benefits just like you planned. But, and this is the important part, if you never need care, the policy doesn't just evaporate. Instead, your family, your beneficiaries, they get a tax-free death benefit. Your money is guaranteed to go somewhere, one way or another. So, a hybrid policy clearly solves a huge problem. But does that mean it's the right choice for absolutely everyone? Well, let's take a look at who this kind of setup usually makes the most sense for. Hybrid policies really are a perfect fit for certain people. They're fantastic for retirees who want to make sure a legacy is left behind no matter what happens. They're also a great tool for high net worth folks who are looking for tax-efficient ways to pass money to their heirs. And of course, they are ideal for anyone who is just plain worried about those crazy high care costs, but can't stand the idea of their premiums disappearing into thin air. They want a guarantee. And it's always good to look at the flip side, right? A traditional use it or lose it policy starts to look a lot less attractive if, say, you've got enough in assets to just pay for care out of pocket without it derailing your entire financial picture. Or if your number one goal is making sure your family gets a guaranteed payout, period. Hybrid policies are a fantastic solution, no doubt, but they aren't the only other game in town. There are actually a few other really creative strategies you can use to plan for these potential costs down the road. Okay, let's walk through this chart together because there's some great stuff here. We've talked a lot about the hybrid life/LTC policy. That's the one that pays out whether you need care or you pass away, solving that use it or lose it problem. Then you've got an LTC annuity. Now this is different. It's not life insurance. Think of it more like a supercharged savings account. Your money grows tax deferred, and then if you need it for care, the value can often double or even triple. Pretty powerful. And lastly, if you have a big IRA, you can use those required minimum distributions, your RMDs, to pay for an LTC policy. This strategy can actually turn a tax bill into a protected asset. So as you can see, each one has its own strengths and weaknesses, really depending on your personal financial situation. Looking at all these different options, it really brings us to a much bigger point. We have to stop thinking about long-term care as just another bill to pay. The real goal here is something much, much bigger than that. This quote just nails it. It really gets to the absolute heart of the issue. Planning for long-term care isn't just a healthcare decision. It's a wealth protection strategy. It's about ensuring one medical crisis doesn't completely wipe out a lifetime of careful saving. It's about protecting your assets, protecting your spouse, and protecting the legacy you want to leave behind. And that is the ultimate takeaway. The right plan isn't just an insurance policy, it's a tool. It's a tool that gives you incredible peace of mind because it builds a firewall around your assets. It makes sure your life savings are used for exactly what you intended, whether that's for your own care or for the people you love. So I'll just leave you with this final question to chew on. When you look at your own retirement strategy, is it just designed to cover a potential expense? Or is it truly built to protect everything you've worked so hard for? It's a small shift in how you look at it, but believe me, it makes all the difference in the world. Thanks for tuning in.